Excuses make today easy, but they make tomorrow hard. Discipline makes today hard, but makes tomorrow easy. What's going on, guys? Coach Joe here, back with another episode with Heartletics, and let's talk all about discipline. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, definitely make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm literally posting new videos multiple times per day, every day of the week, no ifs, ands, or buts. But also, you guys can see that today's shirts, right? Daily habits equals success. Whenever I wear this shirt, just expect a fire of a podcast episode. And that's exactly what today we're going to be diving into. So, listen, all right? Discipline, discipline, discipline. I've talked about it so many times, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. Why? Because it is so important. And anytime you can just hear a little message about discipline, right? I think the last podcast episode I talked about discipline. You guys basically heard me with a very little voice, coughing up blood, everything like that. Because, hey, I'm disciplined. I made a promise to myself that I'm going to stick with making these podcast episodes Monday through Friday, no ifs, ands, or buts, until I turn 31 in August. That's it. I can be sick, I can be injured, it does not matter. I made a promise, I'm going to stick with it, right? And it's that simple thing, right, of making a commitment to yourself that builds up this discipline, right? It's a muscle. It's a mindset muscle. It's a characteristic about yourself. It's a skill that when you master it, hands down, your life becomes so much better. Let me read that quote one more time, right from the beginning that I mentioned, right? Excuses make today easy, but they make tomorrow hard. Discipline makes today hard, but it makes tomorrow easy. Now, why is discipline, right, the greatest muscle, right, the mindset muscle of success? Why is it so important to develop and work on? Well, it's simply because in today's society, right, men are lacking discipline. Men are lacking their promise to themselves, Men are lacking, honestly, a lot of things. But here's the bright side of all this, is that our bodies are made to adapt, especially our minds, okay? And when you can develop more discipline, your life will change. Not just your body, not just your focus, not just your outlook on things, but your overall life will change. Every aspect will. And that's why this is one of the biggest foundations that we go over in our coaching program over at Heartletics. When guys get signed up, we send them over a little affirmation card, and we also send them over this wristband, right? It says on there, consistency is key, as that daily reminder to just show up, be that 1% better each and every day. But you got to be disciplined, whether you feel like it or not, right? Successful people do what they have to do, whether they feel like it or not. Now, here's the thing, right? There's going to be plenty of days where you don't feel like it. And myself included, right? There's days where I'm sick. There's days where I'm tired. But you got to decide, right? To just take ownership and take commitment that this is your life, okay? And the reason why I'm making today's episode is because I hear about excuses so much. And it's just that people don't think it's an excuse, but it really is. And they just need that wake-up call. They just need that gentle little slap in the face to just say, listen, if somebody else can do it, you can do it too. And hopefully today's podcast episode is that gentle reminder to you. Just like how Robert Banniston, right? Do you guys not know that story? Let me just repeat it one more time, right? He was the first person ever to run the 4-minute mile. Now, even doctors, right? Everybody said it's impossible to do it. Doctors said that the human heart would explode if somebody was able to do it. Guess what? He did it. And then later on that month, I think there was about 15 or 20 other people that were able to do it. And then throughout the course of the year, there was hundreds of other people that were able to do it. And now, there's high schoolers that are able to do it. Why? Because he broke that self-limiting belief. And what guys need to understand is that these excuses that they keep on pointing the finger, they don't understand that they have 3 fingers pointing right back at them. And every time you make up an excuse, you're creating this self-doubt. You're creating these self-limiting beliefs as to why you can't do something because you're deciding to put the finger and point it on to somebody else instead of taking responsibilities for your own actions. Instead of taking commitment and prioritizing yourself and being a man of your word. And that's honestly what guys are lacking in today's society. And it honestly, it scares me a little bit. Because I'm a young buck here, right? I'm 30 years old. And there's a lot of people that we coach in their 40s to 60s, and they love, right? This is people that's like applying, not our coaching clients, right? Let's make that a fine line here, right? These are the people that are applying to get in. And we'll hear about why they can't do something, right? It might be like, oh, I can't start a coaching program right now, or I can't work out right now, or I can't, eat healthy right now. And they'll use things like, oh, I got to take my kids to school, and oh, I got work, and gym memberships are expensive, and just like I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this. And what is it doing? It's building up a muscle. But the muscle that is building up is the excuse muscle, not the discipline muscle. Remember, and I love this phrase, okay? Excuse my French. I did not make this saying at all, but excuses are like assholes, right? Everybody has them and they all stink. That's the reality. Remember what I said in the beginning? Excuses make today easy, but they make tomorrow hard. Discipline makes today hard, but it makes tomorrow easy. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. When you really prioritize yourself and you really become a man of the words that you're going to speak out of existence, and you say, hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right, and I'm not going to stop until I reach my goal, guess what? You are putting that divine vibration out into the universe, saying that it's a priority to you. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. And guess what? Doorways are going to start to open up for you. You will have success because you made it a commitment. Now, if you're constantly making up excuses, it's a lot more easier to find excuses happen in your life. I'll put it to you like this. If my back was up against the wall, right? Filed bankruptcy, right? Like the worst case things happen, right? And let's say like something happened to my son, okay? And like he needed like some severe surgery, right? And we don't have health insurance, anything like that. We got to pay out of pocket, and like we need this money. It's like life or death surgery, right? Guess what? Your boy Coach Joe is going to find a way. I'm going to do whatever I can possible. Right? And I'm sure you would too if you were in my situation, if that was your own kid. You need to treat your own life with that same urgency. The problem is that guys love to make up excuses, right? Oh, family comes first, career comes first. They constantly put themselves last. And guess what? They build up a habit of doing that to where it's so much harder to prioritize themselves and actually take ownership and action because they have years of building up habits for their excuses, not the discipline muscle, which is, once again, the most important mindset muscle to work on and to develop. You need to focus on that. You need to build that discipline muscle. And it doesn't have to be hard at all. It doesn't have to be. You can start off small, and that's what I want to get into today's episode, which is the small steps to you becoming the best version of yourself. Okay? You need to make a decision to step outside your comfort zone each and every day. But before you do that, you first need to figure out what is it that you want to develop, what is it that you want to work on, what are your goals, okay? Now, this is why I actually absolutely despise these fad diets out there. Keto, Noom, Paleo, Carnivore, different programs like Weight Watchers. Why? Because one, they don't teach you anything. Two, there's no sense of community. But also three is it's so cookie cutter. And what does that mean? Well, hey, Anybody can lose weight doing keto. But here's the thing. If you're just a random person, right, that's 50% body fat, you got the man boobs, you got the dad bod, right, like your high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you just want to see the number on the scale go down. So you're not educated enough to know that, hey man, you can lose weight and still be 50% body fat and high blood pressure, high cholesterol, the whole 9 yards. And so these diets out there, right, like keto, for example, right, they're not going to educate you and teach you like, hey, realistically, just so you know, like when you cut out carbohydrates, you're losing water weight. Like if you want to lose body fat, like make sure that you're also eating a high amount of protein, but also like, being active, exercising, living a healthy lifestyle. They don't preach that. They just say, hey, cut out your carbs. You see the number on the scale go down. You get suckered in believing, oh man, this is great. I'm seeing great immense success right now, right? And because you don't know the difference between fat loss and weight loss. It's just the water weight that's getting out of your body, right? Carbs store water in the body. Very simple. Look it up yourself if you don't believe me. And so the reason why I don't like these diets is because it preaches this false message that, hey, if you just do this XYZ, your life will be easy. You'll see XYZ results. But no. Remember what I said in the beginning about excuses? It's kind of the same thing with like these fad diets. If you do, right, what's easy, right, quotation marks, right, what's easy, just cut out your carbs. Anybody can do that. Anybody can. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. How many times have you tried any one of these fad diets out there and you actually had long-term success? Honestly, ask yourself that. A lot of guys, right, fall off the wagon because it gets hard. Well, guess what? If you actually decided to do what's hard in the beginning, and typically the hardest thing for most guys to do is just like admitting that they need help and deciding to actually do the right thing. Not the easy thing, the right thing. That's the hard part for guys. Is being open-minded and like literally being willing and open-minded to say like, hey, I need help here and I don't know how to actually do this on my own. That's the hardest thing for guys to do. But the minute you rip off the Band-Aid, guess what? It makes your life so much easier in the end. So I'll put it to you like this, right? You can cut out your carbs today, cut out your carbs the rest of this week, see the number of skill go down, right? Be all like, oh, sweet, shiny object syndrome, right? Losing a whole bunch of weight. This is the best thing in the world. But then next year, where are you going to be at when it's not sustainable? Where are you going to be at when it doesn't work with your lifestyle? Where's it going to be at where you're still kind of wondering like how to actually eat when you go out for your lifestyle, like going out to different restaurants, etc. You expect your family to cut out the carbs as well? Like how are you going to actually fit that in? Think about that. Or you can do the right thing, like listen to the advice that we always share, which is free information, by the way. And you can get this over at heartletics.com. You just download our fat loss guide. Pretty simple. Focus on your calories. Focus on your protein for nutrition. We have that whole fat loss guide that goes over a step-by-step approach on how to do this where it's actually sustainable. You focus on doing that where, hey, maybe in the beginning it's a little bit difficult because, I don't know, you got to eat more food than you're used to because you have a slow metabolism. And that's actually how it works in the body to speed it right back up. Sometimes you got to go a few steps back in order to get 10, 15, 20 steps ahead in the future where you're trying to get to. So guys don't understand that. Guys want the easy option, right? Because guys love the fact that, hey, I could potentially play the lottery and win millions. Hey, I love the fact that if I want something, I can just go on Uber Eats, right, and DoorDash and just order in immediately like that. Guys don't want to put in the work. But what happens is when you always choose the easy options in life, you actually get weaker with your discipline. And that is so important. Because once you look at the long term, the bigger picture of everything, what is it that you want to show up to your kids? Do you want to show your kids to just take the easy option, the easy way out? Or do you want to share with your kids and be a living example of, hey, show up for yourself. Put in the work. Be a man of your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. That means especially when times are tough. Especially when you don't feel like showing up. Because that's when you build up your discipline the most. Or do you just want to teach your kids, hey, just choose the easy option, always. So then when life throws them real curveballs and real adversity, They don't even know what to do with it. They're going to fall. And potentially, maybe you've been falling your whole entire life trying to battle your own fat loss journey on your own because you don't know how to handle adversity. You don't know how to handle, when it gets hard and life throws you these curveballs. So let me help you out. You got to make a decision, right? Whatever your goal is. Maybe you want to lose 50 pounds. Maybe you want to get off your blood pressure and cholesterol medications. Maybe you want to have more, sex drive, more energy, whatever the case may be. Whatever your goal is, that's great. Find out what that is. But here's the thing. You got to find out your why. Because your why is what's going to help you get one step closer to your goals. Not when life's easy, because anybody can do anything when life's easy. Your why is what's going to help you out when life gets tough. So we go over this, questionnaire when guys apply for our coaching program. It's kind of like a 7-layer why. Like 7-layer dip, like a 7-layer why. Meaning like, hey, you want to lose 50 pounds. Well, okay, why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Maybe that first layer why is, well, hey, I care about my health in the future. I'm scared because I have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I want to get off my medications and, it's for longevity. Well, that's great. Why do you care so much about your health? Like why do you want to be here in the long run? Oh, well, my family. Maybe this is the next why. Well, my family, I care about my family. Like I want to be here in the long run for my family and, have a great, healthy life and, be active with them. Okay. Why is that important to you? Well, maybe it's because you realize here that when you come home from work, you're just sitting down on the couch all day, drinking a beer, watching Netflix, and you're just being lazy while your kids are, off doing their thing, playing video games, playing on the tablet. You're not actually being a father figure. It's like, okay, so let's ask you why again. Why is that important? Oh, well, maybe you don't want your kids to grow up and be like how you are right now because maybe you're depressed, maybe you're anxious, maybe you're just like lethargic and you feel like it's Groundhog's Day every day and it's just like you don't want your kids to be living that life when they get to your age. Okay, well, why is that important to you also? Well, maybe when you were in school, I don't know, maybe this happened to me when I was in middle school. Maybe you got picked on and made fun of and bullied because you were overweight. And maybe you also want to make sure that you make a change, right? Lead better by example, have healthy habits for the entire household, the entire family. So that way your kids don't have to worry about their weight when they get older and they also don't have to get bullied as well. So you can see in there when you actually peel back the layers, and I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Like it's hard for guys to admit their flaws. It's hard for guys to put their ego aside, right? But the minute you can actually do that, I promise you anything. Right? When you have that deep-rooted why, when it's cold outside, right? And you don't feel like, going for a walk, when it's you don't feel like waking up in the morning when it's, snowy outside, when it's, let's say you're just kind of feeling like a head cold or something like that, or, temptations barking nice and loud, whatever the case may be, right? Curveballs, adversity. You got to realize that's just life just trying to test you to see how bad you actually want it. But like, if you had a head cold, I bet you anything, like you're not going to call off work. Why? Well, hey, you got to go to work because you need money to pay the bills. So why don't you have the same priority in that sense with your own health? Because when you focus on improving your health, it's going to make everything in your life a lot easier. Your work, your family, your relationships, everything, like your path to wherever you're trying to get to. And when eventually you get there of reaching your goals of better health, everything gets better along that process. Everything, hands down. But like, think about it. If you can go to work, right, not feeling like, plenty of times I don't feel like showing up, right, making a podcast, but I made a promise to myself. I made a commitment to myself. I don't need to do this, but it's a promise. And that means the world to me. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to do it. That's called discipline 101. And putting in the right action steps and making sure that I actually follow through, that's what builds up that muscle, especially when I don't feel like it. When I have a sore throat, when I'm feeling sick, when I have tons and tons of work I got to get finished with, guess what? That's when the discipline muscle grows the most. But why don't you have the same mindset about improving your health? If you can go to work when you're feeling a little sick and you're feeling tired and you don't feel like showing up because hey, it's a priority because you got to pay the bills, What matters more to you in your life? You and your overall health of being here in the long run and creating better leadership skills and becoming a better father for your kids and a better husband for your spouse? Or money? It's something that you got to think about. You know, it doesn't have to be hard to build muscle, right? With your discipline. You just need to make a commitment. Once again, consistency is key. You got to show up whether you feel like it or not. That's what successful people do. And to help you out, it's just stepping outside your comfort zone each and every day. Just making that small little strides here and here and here. That's it. You know, I'll finish things off with just like how I started. Excuses make today easy, but it makes tomorrow hard. So next time you said you can't do something, right? You can't go for a walk, you can't eat healthy, you can't go to the gym, can't work on your mindset because of, your family, because of your work, because of excuse. Guess what? Every time you point the finger at somebody or something, you got three pointing right back at you. And those three fingers pointing right back at you, they're going to be very disappointed. Because long term, it's just going to make things harder for you. But here's the flip side. Discipline makes today hard, but it makes tomorrow easy. And that's the beauty of all this. Is you're one decision away from a completely different life. It's just that you need to learn how to prioritize yourself enough and become a man of your own words and take action. Take commitment. This is your life. There's never going to be that lottery ticket that's coming your way. There's never going to be that fat loss pill that's going to clear your health of everything and all the medications. It's never going to happen. You have to decide to prioritize yourself enough. And once you do that, you have your goal, you have your why, and you realize here when life throws you curveballs, you should be thankful because it's only preparing you for the real test ahead. That's all, guys. That's all. Hopefully you enjoyed today's podcast. If you did and you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Turn on the little bell notification as well. That way you never never miss any episodes that I post. But also, don't share this. Don't be afraid to share this episode. Share it on Facebook. Share it with a friend. Share it with somebody that needs it the most. Maybe share it with yourself a month from now. Go email it to yourself or something like that. Because I bet you anything, when you really pick up what I'm trying to put down here and focus on building up this discipline muscle, your life will be easier. I promise you that. I'm not saying it's going to be easy overnight. No. It's just like a muscle. You got to work at it. But the people that look good with their shirts off and have more energy and have better health, guess what? Those are the people that show up each and every day. Those are the people that put in the work. Those are the people that also, they enjoy the process. They're not just looking to get to their goals and that's it. No. These are the people that's looking to build up habits and enjoying every step of the way, getting them 1% better, closer to their goals. With that being said, guys, this has been Coach Joe with the Heartletics podcast. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, girls.